Hi, this is Pastor Troy Neer of St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Shaker Heights, Ohio, and we're coming at you again with another midweek recap of last Sunday's message. Midweek recap, that is at best a polite lie. It's Friday. Are we going to do this? Are we really going to? And last Sunday we looked at Romans chapter 6. And there we looked at how Paul was talking about the sins of the body, the sins of the flesh. And it is very true that God has given us commandments that regulate what we do with our bodies. That our bodies are not free to use for our own choices, but rather they're there to be used in accordance with God's will. And if our bodies refuse to be regulated according to God's command, according to God's will, as it's revealed in the Scriptures, if our bodies refuse that, then one of the things that's very true is that we must discipline. We must control our bodies. We must refuse to allow the parts of our bodies to be handed over to sin for sinful purposes. Now, just about everyone out there at one time or another has heard a preacher talk about this idea that we must control our bodies. And usually the idea that's brought across, the idea that is spoken of is that we control our bodies, that we can live holy lives, that we can be righteous, that we can be closer to God. But it's interesting that the reason the Apostle Paul gives is not that reason at all. The Apostle Paul says in Romans chapter 6, speaking to Christians, he says, "We know that our old self was crucified with Jesus in order that the body of sin might be brought to nothing, so that we would be no longer enslaved to sin. For the one who has died has been set free from sin." Now, if we have died with Christ, we believe that we will also live with him. See, that says something. The reason we control our bodies, the reason we don't give our bodies over to sin, the reason for that is because it is no longer who we are. You who have been baptized, you who believe in Jesus Christ, you have been made new. You have been made new in Christ. You have died with Christ. That old sinful self has died off, and it's been killed off with all the sin in your life. And so your identity now is in Jesus Christ. And no longer is it found in sin. So the Apostle Paul tells us, be who you are in Christ. Be who Christ has made you to be. Christ has died for you, and you have died with him. Christ was risen for you, and you're now made alive in him. Christ has forgiven you, and you now live forgiven in him. I'm Pastor Troy Neer of St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Shaker Heights, Ohio, where we come in, receive the gospel, and take it out to our community so that they too can live in Christ. Have a blessed week.